Alright, hello and welcome to another Why Would You Use. So, today we're going to talk about the Silva and Aegis Prime. This is the new best sword and shield. I think pretty handily this beats the Akenbrunt, the previous holder of that title. And honestly, hey, let's be fair here. It's a three-man race. Not particularly hard to win, but this weapon is pretty good. Let's take a look at the build real quick. This is a two-forma build. You don't need the second forma, really. The second forma, I used to change one of the D polarities this comes with into another V polarity, so that I can use condition overload with the full damage mods. It is totally reasonable if you want to go a little bit more consistent on your status to do the dual stat mods here. I think that's totally reasonable, but in my experience, this weapon attacks fast enough that is very, very unnecessary, and you're going to proc your status a shit ton anyway, as long as you're using Final Harbinger. Final Harbinger is very, very important. This stance is amazing, and bonus, I think it's one of the most fun stances in the entire game, if not actually the most fun stance, because it's a real good time, I gotta say. But yeah, this is a mixed build status crit, which, as we've seen with kind of my top list of the best weapons in the game, most of them are status crit weapons, so it bodes well for this weapon. And obviously, if you're playing a Warframe such as, well, not Ember in this case, say Saren, or other Warframes that can proc a lot and give you another boost to your condition overload, that will increase the damage of this weapon even further, which is quite good. So, what's the deal with this weapon? Well, basically, it's a really, really good sword and shield. The Akenbrunt was already serviceable, but not like top tier. This weapon is MR12, so it should be really, really powerful and useful for pretty much anything you want to do. If you want to use a sword and shield, if you want to take a sword and shield into sorties, you should bring this one. And it'll do absolutely fine there. Mostly because the Final Harbinger moveset is fucking amazing. It is a really, really strong moveset that increases the attack speed of the weapon to a great degree and is really versatile and sweeping to annihilate groups. In particular, with attack speed, this move right here, which is just your hold combo and is very, very easy to do due to the way this hold combo is done, it just shreds entire groups. And with condition overload, like if you do a slam attack first and get a nice proc on a bunch of enemies and then go into this, the shield hits a bunch, just absolute murder. And of course, this is a corrosive heat build that could very, very easily be viral heat if you're going into a party with all corrosive projections. Enemies are just going to die. They're going to evaporate. You're just going to evaporate them. And that's the basics of it. It doesn't really do anything special that like all the other like Akenbrunt hasn't done before, and it's like the useful version of the Silva and Aegis, and I kind of don't have any complaints about it. It kind of fits right exactly where I would expect, and that's great, because having an MR12 weapon that is really good is kind of ideal, I would think. Obviously, I don't have any healing here, but usually the damage output is going to be enough where that's not going to matter too much. Because enemies are mostly just going to die in like 1 or 2 swings. There's not momentum on every swing at this stance, though. As the weapon does not have it innately. The blocking percentage on sword and shields is obviously pretty good if you want to do that, and there's a bonus on blocking that can stack up to 4 times. That increases your status and crit chance by 15% per stack, which is fine, although I don't think you're going to be blocking a whole lot, although the block combo on Final Harbinger is good. But yeah, it's just, you're just going to, you just die. And with corrosive, obviously, I'm stripping like a decent amount of armor. Like, attacking this fast with like a lot of multi-hits, like this is in full berserker, like, you go. Like, you get in there and you fuck them up. It's very, very fast. The range is good. It's got a nice little AoE. Prime Breach is not needed if you want to use Prime Reach instead of Condition Overload at lower levels. You can clear rooms, definitely with that, a little bit faster. I kind of have no complaints about this, really. Like the only complaint I can really even think to level at this thing, not gonna lie, is that I wish I could use the Here, we'll go look at it. I like the shield, but I wish I could use this sword. That is my one and only possible complaint, is that I like this sword better than I like the mace. So, pretty short fucking list of complaints about this thing, honestly. Yeah, it's real good. If you want to use a sword and shield, especially if you have Final Harbinger, because it's a hell of a lot of fun, then, go get this thing. The farm is not even hard either. It's great. Get it. Later, everyone.